On today's episode of KniFAQ, we're talking about holiday knife traditions. Is it ever okay to give a knife as a gift? And how old does a kid need to be before they get their first knife? We're going to be answering those questions and more on episode 242 of the series where I answer all your questions, sharp or dull. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the KnifeCenter. Welcome to the show. We got Thomas behind the camera as usual.
Gregorian calendar.
December is the 10th month until it became the 12th. Did you know that?
Numbers.
I did. What we do in this series is we answer your questions, sharp or dull, or at least we try to, and we pull those questions from the comments section. So if you got a question, drop it down below and we'll consider it. First question today is from Defossion1. Question: with Christmas fast approaching, I'd like to know the answer to this. The whole family is sitting around opening presents when inevitably someone calls out, "Does anyone have a knife?" Naturally, all the men scramble to be the first to produce a blade, but in addition to being first, it's imperative to produce a cool, nay, ultra cool knife. So what is it? What is the quintessential around the tree, ultra awesome Christmas gift opening knife? I've got something for you here. And I mentioned we're talking about traditions. Whatever you use, it should become like the Christmas gift opening knife, right? In my opinion. For that reason, and to give it sort of like more reason for being that, as opposed to just being some random cool knife, is this. This is the Hella Harding, made in Norway, because, you know, Scandinavian feels appropriate for Christmas, right? It's very uncomfortable as it sits right now, because this is an unfinished knife. The handle has not been shaped. What you want to do, you know, you mentioned dads, right? You know, all the men. You know. Dads, take your kids, or whatever, you know, whatever passes for them for your kids these days.
Goldfish.
Finish the knife out with someone special, whether it's a significant other, whether it's a child, whether it's a relative. Finish this knife with the express intent of it being your Christmas gift opening knife, and then it becomes the thing for years to come. Hey, give me the knife that Dad and I finished. Like, that's... I wanted to kind of go like jokey and over the top with this answer at first, but the more I thought about it, like, this is just really cool, right? I think so. So the price on this, it's actually at the point we're filming this on sale for about just under $97. It's usually a few more bucks than that. By way of reference, the standard Hella Harding is on sale right now for about 170 bucks. We'll put a picture of it up here so you can see roughly what the real version of this knife looks like. But you can kind of get a little creative with it if you want to. Give it a slightly different profile, but I think that would be really, really cool. That's the sentimental answer. I do have a practical answer, which is less about being ultra cool. Thomas mentioned something about this just a few moments ago to me. A multi-tool. Oh my goodness. You know, snipping, you know, little, you know, hard to reach tags, putting toys together, you know, installing batteries in like sealed, you know, screwed down compartments, you name it. A multi-tool is going to be invaluable Christmas morning. The Cyber Tool from Victorinox, I think, would be a great choice. The key feature of this knife is yay bits. 1, 2, 3, 4 double-sided bits in many common sizes. Hopefully you'll be able to put together whatever Santa brings with those. You've also got a small pair of pliers right there, which could come in handy, again, for assembling things. Scissors, blades, can opener, cap lifter, you know, corkscrew. You know, get a little tipsy on Christmas, I guess. Responsibly, of course. You know, multi-tool, take your pick, but this one could be a good option. They do run about, what is it? About 135 bucks. They've gotten a little more pricey. You could also check out the Roxxon Companion Slim or Mini, Companion Mini. That's got a micro-bit driver on it. That could be pretty cool too. We're talking about tradition. So I mentioned this could kind of create a new tradition, but I want to hear from you folks too. Do you have any like Christmas time knife-centric traditions? Would love to hear about it, and maybe it's something we could talk about in next week's episode if anything cool comes up. One that comes to mind, I mentioned earlier, there is this kind of, you know, superstition about you should never give a knife as a gift. So the thing to do is to tape a coin, tape a penny to the blade so that the giftee can give it back to you, which means they've paid you for the knife, so it's not a gift. You know, the superstition, if you give them a knife, you're giving them the thing to cut the friendship with. I don't know. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but it is a tradition amongst some. Share us yours, please.
And your catastrophes.
Yes, exactly. Next question comes from E. David Lee. Hello, DCA from Honolulu, Hawaii. Great show. Keep it up. It is greatly appreciated. I am Christmas shopping for beginner knives for my nephews, who are 4 and 6 years old, respectively. I see some wood knife kits on your website that are perfect and was wondering if you could comment on the ones you have to offer for sale. Thanks and happy holidays. Before anyone gets mad at E. David Lee, I will say you don't know when other people's kids are ready to handle a knife or not. You're not in that position, I would say. So, E. David Lee, be responsible, right? Yeah, I think a wooden knife kit or plastic knife kit, which we're going to get to here in a second, is a great way to kind of share a passion with someone and start teaching them responsible knife handling as well. Could be a really great option. And we've got some really great options like Jameson Woodworks, Case Knives, CRKT, Spyderco. We've got kits from all of these. We're going to put two of them together as we go. The first is JJ's Knife Kit, the Jameson Woodworks. This is the original. There are a few models. This is like $12. Comes in a cool tin, so even once the knife is put together, hey, they got a cool tin. Oops, dropped that there. So I have not put one of these together before. We're going to do it. So pardon me if this looks clumsy. Looks fairly straightforward, though. We got several pieces of wood. Looks like it was laser cut out of a sheet. You got the burn marks going on there. If you're not a fan of those burn marks, you can sand it down or paint these, stain them even. All right, so we have a back spring. This is going to be a slip joint, basically. Handles, inlays or covers, and some pins to hold it together. Let me see. I wonder if... Yeah, these will fit in either way. So if you want to hide the burn side of the inlay, you can just put it down like so. Interesting. So it looks like we got 3 pins here, and there's 1, 2, 3 places for it to go through. I might need to punch that hole out just a little bit. Let's see. So there are instructions. Should have done that.
We don't read those.
So it is saying you should glue these into position. The hole there is kind of, you can use the pin to help guide it, is what it's saying, because that's not actually going to go through. Or is it? No, it has to go through, doesn't it? See, this is the fun of putting something together on Christmas morning when everyone's happy but cranky, and you have to figure things out on the fly.
Dad, I want to play with my knife.
I know, I'm sorry. All right, let me punch these holes out. Maybe I can do it with these pins real quick. Yeah, just sawdust. That's fine. The fit is tight. Don't push too hard. We don't want to break the wood, of course. All right, it is also saying to apply some wax to the spring. Obviously, we're not going to be able to accomplish that, so we won't. We don't have wax here. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Stack each side up as we go here. I'm going to put the pins through all of the holes on one side, and we'll just stack it up. It should go pretty quickly. All right, now we need the blade. This is the JJ Model 1 right here. And as you can see, all these parts are exactly the same outline as it would be if it were a quote-unquote real knife. Now we have the back spring, which will fit right in there, supposedly. There we go. Maybe a soft rubber-sided mallet of the small variety might come in handy. Let me take the blade out a minute. Might be getting in my way a little bit. Oh, no, there we go. There we go. We have contact. All right, push that through. Other side. Even if you've had a little too much eggnog, you'll probably be able to pull off this project with your kid. One hopes. There you go. It's all press fit together. Yeah, you could certainly glue some of these parts, the inlay parts especially, in to make it a little cleaner, but it does all press fit together. Now you got a little knife, and the walk and talk's a little stiff. We'll admit, a little wooden.
I was this close.
Sorry. I beat you to it this time.
This time.
Yeah. There you go. That's the JJ Model 1. Cool knife. Let's do the Spyderco now. This is the Delica. And I actually think this would actually be my recommendation here. The JJs are cool. It's got a more classic vibe for sure. But I really like the idea of the Delica shape as a training tool for first-time knife users, because this will actually allow it to function as a lockback. So you've got the ability to teach how locks work, proper two-hand opening and closing, even though you could open it with one hand, thanks to the thumb hole right there. But let's do it. We'll speed through cutting out all the parts from this, but we'll be ready to go here in just a second. All right, we got the parts out. I need to clean up the edges just a little bit. I'm just gonna use my Victorinox Companion Slim here, which I've been carrying for a little while, to clean those little, whatever you wanna call it up. There's a word for this that I'm forgetting from model making. Chime in the comments, let me know. All right, now we're just gonna build it up the same way as before. One side to the next. Again, full instructions right here. Glows in the dark too, so when the kid loses it, maybe you'll be able to find it. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. Well, 4 pins? They gave us an extra pin. That's great.
Because you're going to lose one.
Or did they? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I guess so. Yeah, kids will lose. Well, that one I didn't trim quite as well, so we'll put that one to the side. Boom. Boom. All right, this one, instead of just one back spring, we have the back spacer and we have the back lock, and then of course the blade. But again, this is another just press fit everything together. So the lock bar even has the David Boy dent in it right there, which is nice. So that goes there, and then we'll push that down so that we can slot the blade in. And there you go. That's that side done. Pop the other handle on and we should be good to go. How's about that, ladies and germs? You got yourself a Delica. Glow in the dark. Nice. The Delica is just such a great shape overall. And I mentioned it, I think, being a good tool for teaching. There's a bit of a finger guard on here. Not that they're actually going to cut themselves, but I like a finger guard on a beginner's knife especially. I will say the pins are actually a little tiny bit long, so you could trim those down a little bit farther if you wanted, as you can see right there, but so cool, man. 17 bucks and some change for that, about 12 bucks for the JJs. There's a few different models. Like I said, Case Knives has a couple. CRKT has a Nathan's Knife Kit. We'll try to link to all of them down below. Start a new tradition or pass on the tradition. Oh, one more. Actually, I forgot to mention this. We're not going to build this one right here, but this, which is normally about 13 bucks, on sale for 11 and a half, or a little bit more, $11.65, we'll say. You could actually build a Laguiole style real knife. Looks like the blade needs a little bit of attention, clean up there, but it's very inexpensive, so don't expect any wonder materials right here. It's got hardwood. I don't know what kind of wood. Again, 12 bucks.
Tree.
Yeah, it's the tree wood. Thank you, Thomas. I forgot. That's pretty cool and very affordable. And again, all the parts are right there. There you go. All right, next question. That took a while. It's time for the lightning round. The Good Lookers asks, since it is cold outside, it's winter after all, although our friend from Honolulu, I said that wrong twice in this episode now.
Haliki-liki-maha.
Mount Wanahakalugi. That's in Australia, right? Finding Nemo?
Somewhere.
Anyway. Stereotypically, Christmas is wintertime. Since it's cold outside, how about an episode dedicated to liner or frame locks that can be easily actuated while wearing gloves? Some of the knives become useless in winter due to the lack of actuation and the gloves. I won't do a full episode, but I do have an option for you right here. The Spyderco tenacious. Very easy. Sorry, I've got pieces of Delica on my hand. The one-hand opening hole is large enough, even when wearing gloves. Very easy to use. And you've got plenty of cutout here to actuate the liner lock, even if wearing a thick pair of gloves. And it's just a great design. This model right here is the S35 VN Blade version with the injection molded, very grippy handles that has sadly been discontinued, but you can still get it on sale for an amount of time for just under $100 right now. I think that's really good. Or about half that price for the standard 8CR versions. Great knife. Often overlooked today. It was a rock star for a little while and has kind of been overshadowed, but it is still, I think, one of my favorites of Spyderco's designs. Just from a design aspect, it works so good. All right, Dark Winter Nights. See, it's a theme. Asks, this is an extremely subjective question, but what would you recommend as a sort of display knife? Something decent sized and judged on aesthetic rather than practicality for any actual cutting utility. I have just the thing. I have to make room for it a little bit. It's right here. You, my friend, need a champagne saber. Like this model right here from Fox. This is the Sciabola del Sommelier Champagne Sabre Sword. It's normally just over $200. We're on sale right now for just over $180. Comes in a nice case. I've already removed some of the packaging to make this a little quicker. They got an awesome box. Move the saber out of the way here for a second, but you do have a display stand. This is awesome. It's decent sized. I think that was the word you mentioned. And it certainly can be judged on its aesthetic quality, but has absolutely no practicality for actual cutting because it's not sharp. It is made to pop the tops off of champagne bottles. The end of the champagne bottle is going to be sharper than this blade after you properly saber the handle or the bottle. A technique called sabrage. Say it with me, folks. How cool are these though? But it comes with a display stand. You mentioned display being part of what you were looking for. You know what? That's a pretty tight fit. Oh, that one worked. I was gonna say, maybe I won't actually assemble this here because I don't want to chip the paint. Yeah, we're not gonna chip the paint. That might, once you force it into place, it's not gonna be fine, but I don't want to do that and then take it apart and have chipped paint. But anyway, just pretend. Or you can turn around and see the logos if you want. Champagne Saber is your friend.
Well, if it's Italian, it's technically Prosecco.
It's a sparkling saber. Well, now we come to our final question of the day, which is, of course, our most seriousest question of the day, which comes from Michael Keckler. It's more of a comment than a question, actually. Spending $500 for a knife for Christmas, and my wife is going to be stealing it and doing you-know-what to me in the middle of the night. I'll pass. I'm actually going to do a real serious answer this time, rather than a jokey answer, which is what typically happens with our most serious questions. May I suggest a new holiday tradition? Openness and honest communication with your loved ones. Does that make me sentimental, a sentimental sap? Maybe, but you know what? It's Christmas, and I'm into it. That's all we've got time for today, folks. Keep your questions coming. Keep your actual serious and your actually not serious questions coming as well, so we can keep this series going. That's all. If you want, if you have any Christmas traditions, share them in the comments. If you have any alternate suggestions for our folks today, share that in the comments as well. In the meantime, if you want to get your hands on any of these items, check out the links in the description, which will of course take you to KnifeCenter.com. And don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, Sezzle or Apple Pay options at checkout. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's all for now. We're signing off. See you next time. Merry Christmas, everybody.